Today we read about type of acids and types of bases. On the basis of number of proton when these acids are added to the water. When these acids are added to the water, if these acids donates or produces one proton per molecule, then these acids are known as monoprotic acid. So when these acids are added to the water or in aqueous medium, when they produces only one proton, so these acids are known as the monoprotic acids. So those acids which produces one proton per molecule known as monoprotic acid. For example, when HCl is added to the water, it produces only one proton. Similarly, when acetic acid is added to the water, it produces one proton. And here it produces H positive ion and acetate ion CH3COO negative. Similarly, HNO3 nitric acid, when it is added to the water molecule, then it produces only one proton H positive and nitrate ion. So HCl, hydrochloric acid, acetic acid, nitric acid, they produces only one proton per molecule, so these acids are known as monoprotic acid. Polyprotic acids are those acids which produces more than one proton. So those acids which produces more than one proton per molecule known as polyprotic acid when these acids are added to the water. When these acids are added to the water, such as H2SO4, sulfuric acid, when it is added to the water, it produces two proton. So here H2SO4 produces two protons, so it is known as diprotic acid. It is also known as polyprotic acid because it produces more than one proton. Here it produces two protons, so it is known as diprotic acid. Similarly, H3PO4. Here H3PO4 produces three proton when it is added to the water. So it is known as triprotic because it produces three proton when added to the water. So here H2SO4 and H3PO4 are known as polyprotic acid because they produces more than one proton. They produces more than one proton per molecule. Here sulfuric acid produces two proton, so it is known as diprotic acid, and phosphoric acid produces three proton when these acids are added to the water. So it is known here H3PO4 is known as triprotic acid. So here collectively these H2SO4 and H3PO4, these are known as polyprotic acid because they produces more than one proton. Similarly, types of bases. There are two types of bases on the number of hydroxide ion when these bases produces hydroxide ion when these bases are added to the water molecule. If these bases produces only one hydroxide ion when added to the water, these bases are known as monoacid bases. For example, if NH4OH is added to the water, it produces one hydroxide ion and NH4 positive ammonium ion. So here NH4OH produces only one hydroxide ion when added to the water, so it is known as monoacid bases. Similarly, NaOH, when it is added to the water, it produces only one hydroxide ion, so it is known as monoacid bases. So it is known as monoacid base. Polyacid bases are those bases which produces more than two hydroxide ion when these bases are added to the water. For example, Ba into OH taken twice, barium hydroxide. When it is added to the water, it produces two hydroxide ion. Similarly, Ca into OH taken twice, calcium hydroxide, when it is added to the water, it produces 2 hydroxide ion when added to the water. Similarly, aluminium hydroxide, when it is added to the water, it produces 3 hydroxide ion. So these barium hydroxide, calcium hydroxide and aluminium hydroxide, they produces more than 1 hydroxide ion in water when they are dissolved in water. So that's why these bases are known as polyacid bases, because they produces more than 1 hydroxide ion when added to the water.